Yep, Swanee kicking it off. Vesper is taken away. And Gatarga taking away that M8 from Swanee and Co. XR2 Mana War. Very, very similar bans for what we have seen in the previous games. What will Madcat and Whalers do, though? Again, more assault rifles taken out, but that rapid fire also taken away.
So let's see. Actually, that's the first time we've seen the HVK present in those bans, at least in this series. Not something they've been so keen to remove. The active camo, though, that doesn't surprise us, especially considering Uplink. We saw already that that was taken away in Search and Destroy. Same story this time into Uplink, as Vitality then want to get this draft absolutely perfect, as it's their chance to 3-0 Millenium. Swanee looking to start and draw blood fast. You said already, we've seen Swanee use it in a kind of offensive scenario. You prefer to see it in a defensive, and so potentially we've seen that maybe holding middle a little later on. Yeah,
Swanee really setting things up. Again, eye to eye with Broken. At the moment, Broken, I wouldn't say coming off the better one, but he's certainly 2-0 in the series. Whalers opting for that overdrive, of course. I think that will be Jerd's specialist of choice, as Madcat, of course, is a big fan of that Tempest. But risking, not sure what he's going to choose here. Will be interesting, of course, Jerd choosing that overdrive. Risking maybe matching, no, going for that heat wave again. We saw it in the first one, really, really effective.
Yeah, and I mean, Whalers and Jerd are going to be the ones I'm going to really set my sights on for this this run on Uplink. Absence of kind of kinetic armor on the side of Millenium. Do you know what that does? Is it makes me kind of think about Tommy. That's the second time where we would expect to see a different specialist picked up, but he went for Annihilator. Like, he's that one change. But the question then, of course, is raised: how influential can you be with Annihilator? You can have favorites, sure, but it's all about the what's best for your team at the end of the day. If you cannot be influential with that Annihilator, it's just a preference. We'll see.
For me, Tommy will choose the Annihilator every single map, every single game mode, every single...
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I think for him, it's more... He'll be looking at this game like, you know, we have Jerd with that overdrive. Scythe, Annihilator, and Tempest, they're basically slaying and playing around Jerd. But the Annihilator for Tommy, he's so accurate with it. We will see, for sure. But he just seemed, you know how we saw in the previous game, a couple of shots missed. Not sure who that was, trying to jog my terrible, terrible memory. But Tommy...
Was it Joe?
It could have been, yeah, Joe, I think you're right. But Tommy will be pinpoint with that, taking down 2 or 3 one-shot kills, and can really open up avenues for Millenium, especially in the uplink. They need this. 2-0 down. Vitality take the lead at the moment.
Yeah, let's see if the French side can really finish this one, put a bow on it, and start with an incredible bang. I mean, seeing Millenium go 0-1 would be quite a tough pill for them to swallow. Of course, only until tomorrow, where we will be playing our second game of the week for every single one of the teams within the European side of the Call of Duty World League. Just Gatarga, who didn't quite manage to get everything completed in time. And it's time for us to dive into this game any second now. Things we've noticed so far then. What trends have we seen develop? We've seen this played 4 times. No, that's a lie. Twice already. No, Alex
4
Richardson.
times.
This is the third one. This is the third in the best of 5. Maths is hard. My brain's going a little slow now.
We're getting there.
We've seen this a lot. That's what I want to say. What trends have we seen develop?
For me, we've seen this kind of favourable side. When you're pushing into the church, you've got a lot more space around you. You've got a lot more avenues to push. But on the defensive side, you know, that's too much to handle sometimes. So that's where you can relay some points. That's where you can grab 2, 4, 6 back-to-back. Alternatively, you know, once you have that lead, we've seen a bit more kind of a defensive style of play. But the only people to contradict that was Infuse, which kind of just smashed it out of the parks there early on against Giants. Infection Uplink, though, completely different to any other game mode. Score limit is unlimited. Has that 5 minute until we swap sides. And, of course, the 5-second respawn delay. Tommy.
I thought we were looking at Madcat. Just made that assumption.
Yep. Let's see if Madcat also has that. I didn't quite catch it. Swanee. They're all swapped to their RK5s. Let's see what Jerd's up to. We haven't given him too much airtime.
Another one. What on earth? The AK-47 or the KN-44, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, the KN. My bad.
I was just trying to support you in your AK knowledge. But anyway, we're going to be moving then into this one. Tommy's already picked it up, and Swanee and everyone are on the move. Finally, someone puts a bullet into one of them. Jerd quickly trades it out, though. Broker's going to be low, but not low enough. Look at this, Jerd. Beautiful babysitting. Just Tommy kind of keeping himself safe, and he's going to go for a 1-pointer. He's going to just die in the nick of time, but that's going to be 1. And that is a gorgeous start for Millenium, taking a very swift look at securing middle. And that's the first, one of the fastest I think we've seen so far. Like I said, we've seen it 4 times. This is most definitely the fastest fastest 1 point on the board.
Yeah, and that's what Millenium do. They slayed out the middle, and you can see here once again, Tommy looks like the drone runner here. Does get taken down, Broken with the flank there, and Whalers picking up one, Broken with a second, and risking with the fourth. This is bad news for Millenium. Jerd is the only one alive now as the drone goes round. Whalers has it in hand. I'm going to hop on board with him, see if he can get a 1 or 2 point.
Yeah, he's lined that up. That looks like it may have just been a little to the right, but no. It's all good in the hood for the French, and now we're going to be seeing how Willis can get some frags as well. He's got himself an overdrive. This could be a very quick second point if he plays it right. Nice positioning from Swanee, but not nice when he's been shot in the backside. And now 3 players out of the 4 are in the ground, and this could very well be a quick... Oh my god, could very well be 2. Broken's considering it. He's going for the runners, and 1 man training his aim on it. He's just going to go for it. He's got the armor. It's going to be 2. Vitality do secure 3-1, and we've still got 3 minutes left on just the first half. We are going to see a very point-crazy first half here.
Yeah, Whalers is still alive. 1 or 2 off his streak. He's going to pick up 1. Surely going to be taken down from behind. No, it's going to be Broken, I believe, running up with this. Going to stick on board with Whalers. Is he going to make the kill? No, he's not. Doesn't get the streak. So close. Gataga falls. And Broken, of course, taken down. Being taken down. Still alive, though, for now. Just holding this mid-sandbag area.
Yeah, it can be cleared out. Tommy finds that frag, and Tommy so far just secured himself 4 frags. Top of the scoreboard is Whalers, as he just found himself his 8th, as he did connect on towards Mad Cat. Now, though, 2 minutes 40, and that drone is... I mean, it's made a little bit of movement. It's not enough to really write home about. It's just on the other side of middle. On the side of that wall for Whalers, and he's not willing to commit to that. Just, yeah, nice positioning from him. Didn't need to, though. His teammates are doing all the work for him. Finds the fraggle to Madcat. Foolish to peek someone who is just on form at the moment. And he's swapped the overdrive. Don't you dare, Whalers. He's just going for it. They're not even expecting this. It's just too darn quick, and it's another 2. Vitality fine 5. This is an astounding start for the French. Already sitting 2-0 up, and now 5-1 in their 3rd and deciding game.
Yeah, Riskins popped the heat wave there. Technical and tactical play from him. Taking down 1, takes down Swanee again, and he's in the base as Whalers picks up a drone. He's going to be entering. This could be another 1-point play machine. It's not going to be, but does pick up the kill. Intercepted now by the boys from Millenium. Can they make a play? Has dropped the drone at the moment. Whalers and Gataga still in the face of Millenium. Really, really clever play here, because what they're doing, they're just sitting around church, they're making the plays, slaying around, and just kind of waiting for that opportunity, if you like.
Now, just Gataga then looking to make something happen. 1 minute 30 on the clock. The drone is just on the other side of that wall, but he knows his mission is not necessarily to cap it, it is just to defend it now with the time. And these are the frags that Millenium are so good at finding. Those early 3, and now all of a sudden they're at a massive disadvantage. Just Broken, forced to keep this one safe. Tac Mask is going to mean it's even harder for them to waylay this one. He just has to roll over and accept it, as that's going to be 5-3 Millenium in very important 2 points. They needed them before that second half.
Yeah, Swanee so close. The drone does know one. He's on those top stairs. Gataga gets the better of him. Jumping on board with him as Gataga and Whalers Broken picking up a couple. Only Journey's left alive. This is going to be bad news once again for Millenium. Gataga really showing what he can do. This team has been practicing a lot on it there, Uplink. You can tell that just from the game style and the gameplay today. 7-3.
This is a real pleasure to watch and cast. I'm sure you guys are enjoying it as much as we are, because now 45 seconds. Madcat's going to find this frag, the beauty of the concussion, as he picks that one up, and now he's got himself a Tempest once again. Such a favorite for him, as he's going to try and make it happen. He's making it happen so far with just the icy. Oh no, I'm a poet again. Couldn't stop it. And now we're going to be seeing 30 seconds. Could this be another point scored in the remaining 30 seconds? The overdrive is picked up. Whalers, he needs some backup. He needs someone just to pave the way for him. He's sprinting. He's making as much more progress as he can. It could just be a 1-pointer. I think it is. It's 8. Vitality, gorgeous play. I need to stop saying gorgeous, but it really is just beautiful Call of Duty at this point. It's a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, but it's not over yet. With 10 seconds left to go, Gataga picks up the drone. He's going to play it forward. It is picked up by someone. I couldn't jump on board with him quick enough. Doesn't make the play, though. It's going to end 8-3. Millenium have a lot to do, but with only 5 points down. Potentially what a lot of people would say going on the more favorable side. We'll have to wait and see. Are Vitality going to dig their heels in? Are they going to sit back? The French have done it before. Can they turn the tables? Can they go all out aggressive? Can they play the way they have and extend their lead?
Well, I mean, there's a play style to that second half, you know, to the other side, the less favored side in your books, where you basically get that early pickup and chuck it as far as you can towards it for your teammate. There is that passing nature where you need kind of a bit more team synergy, something we've seen a whole lot from Vitality already, so I'm really excited to see, you know, whether or not we're going to be seeing that one. Millenium now on the side that you've already kind of dubbed the slightly more favored just because of that route through Graveyard and those quick 1 points, but still, Let's see what we've got. Early first blood drawn by Broken and Gataga. Looking to do exactly the same on the other side of the map is Swanee, but just the one for him. Whalers trading nicely. Broken finds another, and this is a real solid start for the French. They are going to go ahead and make their first attempt at a run, and wouldn't be surprised, I was going to say, if they managed to make a quick 1 point, but no, Jerd just completely stops in his tracks. Spanner in the works and stops that.
Yeah, but staying on board with the boys from Millenium. Let's see if they can get back in the game. Swanee with a drone in his hand, not something you're used to seeing. But he's open to play that objective when needed. He's been heat waved. Whalers taking advantage of that. And I think Whalers has just picked up the drone, passed it to his teammate. Riskin has that in hand now. Whalers leading the way, though. Separating players from Millenium. He's going to get taken down, but a play has been made. I missed that. I am so sorry. 9-3, though. Vitality extending their lead.
It surprises the observer. It probably surprised Millenium as well, as we're going to be seeing Broken find 2 with the Scythe before finally being neutralized by the Mad Cat's Arcade 5. Jerd picks himself up a 2-piece, and now we can see Mad Cat trying to make a run for Millenium. It does feel like that gap's starting to get a little insurmountable now, which just feels odd to say that the God Squad most definitely is not invulnerable. These guys can, you know, take a hit, and they've taken 3 potentially if this one does go down.
Yep, Tommy has that drone in his hand. He looks like he's just dipping and diving away. This is where probably the Annihilator wasn't a wise choice. But only Jerd survives as Jerd picks up 1. He gets taken down. Now the boys from Vitality once again has this. Whalers does have overdrive, though, in his back pocket. For me, I want to see a drone pass to him. I want to see him implement this. I want to see him thrust right the way through the Millenium defense and see if he can extend their lead.
Instead, a little bit of a kind of lapse in communication. Riskin and Gataga go charging in, trying to make a play, and the one man with the perfect specialist for it was nowhere to be seen. A little bit of miscommunication, but I'm not going to critique them when they're sitting 9-3 up. 3 minutes still on the clock, though. Millenium all to play for, and there's no absence of frags. Look at that scoreboard. Jerd, 19, bordering on 20 now. And the other members all sitting on double digits. No one's really underperforming, and just a little bit of a lapse from perhaps Swanee and Tommy. And
yeah,
there you go. This is what you were talking about. You said perhaps the Annihilator wasn't the wisest decision. Let's see if he can prove us wrong. Just the melee. If they get the 1 point, that's going to be embarrassing. Fortunately not. And it says the Annihilator kill. It was actually just with his fist. It's quite funny to see. And it's Jerd's turn to try and just 1 extra point from Millenium now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big kind of gap, if you like. I mean, a 3-point gap between the teams here. It's not just a 1-point play is what I'm trying to say. They've got to do this twice. They've got to score at least a 2-pointer and a 1 to back things up at least to a draw. You know, there's only 2 minutes left on the clock. Mad Cat has the Tempest in hand. He's just rocking around. Jerd has this now. Could this be the break for them? Does implement the overdrive. Whalers once again stopping them, and Whalers has just thrown it right out the park.
We're going to have to see how this one does go down, because I still feel like Millenium have something in them. They're going to have to show us exactly what it is, though. Heatwave's available for Risk, and he can use that defensively at this point. Yes, Jerd is making the run. Same route as always, though, and it does feel like it's coming a little bit too predictable. Vitality, they check it, they pick up the frag, and now, once again, it's in the hands of Whalers. He's nearing on overdrive again. Instead, he's opting to just try and keep himself safe. 1 minute 30 though, and I'm starting to worry for Millenium. Yeah,
Whalers again, he's made the break twice where he's killed the drone carrier for the boys on Millenium. Let's see what he's doing. Can he do it for a 3rd time now? This drone is surely coming through his right-hand side. He's got to do it for a 3rd time. Takes down Jerd. It is Whalers versus Jerd now. The overdrive boys and only Vitality are showing their worth. Broken as well, backing things up, and this could be good night here for Millenium. We see Riskin picking up the drone. Let's see what he can do.
He's risking it for a biscuit. Didn't quite catch. In fact, Tommy was the defensive player there. He could very well have been on target, but Tommy just too good. Using that jetpack to catch that one and keep the points a little bit more manageable. 9 for 3, but 55 seconds, and this just feels like the maths doesn't add up for Millenium. They need to be so damn quick with this one. A 2-pointer is kind of the only option for them, and he knows that he can't go for the 1-pointer despite how much easier that would be, and that is going to be... Oh my god, I panicked. Little heart attack. He ran out of thrust, and finally he's going to pick up those 2, and now it sits at 9-5. Whalers can just play the counterplay here. Go, throw that out of bounds, and keep resetting, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh, he's doing a Gataga. He's going to the back, and he's playing the time, and he's playing the clock. I'm not going to say anything bad about this, because it is a smart play. He's playing the timer, and surely, if anyone comes near him, that drone is going off for a reset. He's going to see that, and he does. Wow, that was close, though.
That was worryingly close. It is going to be reset, and now it's Jerd's turn to run it, but there is absolutely 0 time. 13 seconds, and it does look like the impossible has been achieved, and Millenium have fallen. Vitality showing new signs of life, most definitely. You can see the leaving already. The time hasn't even ran ran out. Millenium know it's over, and so do we. Vitality 3-0. One of them may not have been hard-earned, but the other two most definitely have been, and the French start the Call of Duty World League strong.
Yeah, and I have to say, yes, we had a bit of a hiccup map number 2. We only saw 2 rounds. You know, Millenium, yes, they were fantastic those 2 rounds, but we also saw Millenium fantastic at the start of the hardpoint. Vitality weren't out of that search and destroy by all means.
100%.
But I have to say, the other 2 maps fully deserved for Vitality. Me, looking at those scoreboards, no one in particular, but Whalers again stood out for them. Whalers for me was kind of the key player in breaking the runs of Jerd. He shut him down 3 times on the bounce, and wow, what a turn of events! 3-0 in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you're not going to forget in a hurry, nor are Vitality, as that's going to put them in such a good position. I mean, like, that means they're also not going to face Millenium for a while. Like, you get the win against Millenium, and then you go on to have a couple of games where you do not face against that opponent. Those wins, that number, they're going to be sitting at the top of the table, I would expect, without much quarrel. Now, they're going to have a couple of tough games. You mean they've got to have to set their sights on the next tier now, where you've got your Infused, your Epsilon, and of course there are other opponents that you've got to keep your eyes kind of peeled on. Splice, another name that's kind of hits the back of my head when I'm thinking about those real threats to that top 4. So that kind of wraps up the day, and in quite a quick I was expecting to be here for another hour or 2, mate. I don't know what happened. That kind of speedy play from Vitality caught us off guard. Yeah,
we've seen, I mean, not going too much into it, we've seen 3 3-0s.
Well, I mean, let's just fully recap the day. Let's just start at the top. Let's start at the very beginning. Do you remember that? It's a song.
No, I don't.
I don't know what it's from. I'll Google it.
Shame. Tell me later.
I think it's like Sound of Music or something.
Probably why I've not heard it.
Yeah, because that's the kind of thing I watch. Oh dear, I'm really telling a lot about myself. But yeah, let's go right from the top. Let's talk about that first game. It was Giants Infused.
Yeah, Giants versus Infused. We saw only kind of one-way street kind of Call of Duty. Infused came out hot. They were dubbed as kind of the second place, or the seed 2, if you like, of a league, if you were to give it. They came out hot, taking down Giants 3-0. The hard point was very dominant. Search and Destroy a little bit closer. Have to say, Giants kind of put up, I think it was 6-4 in the end. But going into the uplink, we saw it. It ended something like 16-2. Very, very dominant. 3-0 sweep for Infused.
Yeah, then moving into that second game, we saw TCM x NGCB as they did qualify on the online stages up against Splice. A little bit of a roster swap for them, but we did still see Splice come out on top. That 2-3 doesn't necessarily tell the whole story, and Splice looked strong in that one.
Yeah, for me, Splice, on the technical side of things, won 4 maps.
Yep,
but Splice looking strong, new roster, new add-ons, looking good. TCM, on the other hand, you know, don't rule them out. They've got a long way to go, but again, new roster, got a lot of work to do together, and I'm sure we'll be putting in the time between now and next week. But Pulse and XL, gotta say, XL and Z in particular, they look hot. I mean, they almost made Pulse look pretty bad. Search and Destroy was a little bit closer, if I remember correctly, but very much like the Infused game, 3-0.
Yeah, keep your eyes on XL. I think they're a team to watch in this one. Definitely a bit of a dark horse. And I mean, they are still, of course, a very renowned roster. It's just a case of there's so many other big names present that they need to really kind of make a good case for themselves at the start of this league. And they've done so well with a 3-0 onto Pulse. Epsilon versus LDLC was the game that kicked off around 8:30. And we saw a little bit of a positive showing from LDLC. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. They did witness that game. A good hardpoint attempt from LDLC. The last couple of hills really determining the winner in that one. And we did see, of course, a good showing from them on Search and Destroy as well.
Okay, and then finally, how can we finish this? But Millenium versus Vitality. Millenium probably with an 80-point, going on 90-point lead in the hard point. Tommy unleashing the wraps. I said it was game over, and then I quickly ate my words as Vitality fought their way back through a very deserving hard point win. Search and Destroy. We saw Vitality take their win over Forfeit, and then take the uplink in great fashion as well, and now we have these standings.
Yeah, so as you can see, those losers, that bottom 6 to 10, you can see TCM, LDLC, Millenium, surprise, surprise, Pulse, and Giants. I mean, that's going to be it, and that's going to be an intriguing way to start the season. Of course, I was about to say Infused to the top, but that would have been very foolish of me, but you can just see basically how the wins have been distributed, and that does, of course, say what's it going to look like tomorrow, Alex? I hear you ask. I hear you wonder what it's going to be like tomorrow. There are, of course, games kicking off tomorrow as well. Same time, same place, and we get to see even more European Call of Duty. Starting the day with XL versus Splice, moving swiftly then in to see the Spanish up against Epsilon. TCM versus Millenium will be over at 7 o'clock, followed by LDLC and Infused. That's a game I'm actually quite intrigued to see. How do those two match up, considering what LDLC did with Epsilon?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's going to be one to watch. It's going to be a close one. Infused obviously picking up that 3-0 sweep today, but finishing it, Vitality versus Pulse, the French versus the French. Can Vitality say, yep, we're number one, we beat Millenium, and we're number one, we're here to stay, and put it to Pulse?
And how much how much of an improvement can Pulse make when considering how they performed in that previous one? I mean, that's going to be the real question on everyone's lips. But it is, of course, promising to be another fantastic day of Call of Duty. We do need to talk about, of course, the other side of this one. There is, of course, 3 continents battling it out, and it is North America that's coming up next, and that's what's going to be following this one straight away. The up-and-coming matches, we're going to be starting with, I mean, just a whole hand-picked special bag of good North American Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, quickly going through them, Rise Nation versus FaZe Clan, you can't kind of say more about it. You know, all these are giants of the North American scene, and to be honest, you know, some aren't in the Pro League that maybe would argue there's so much class in the North American side. 430 though for those guys at PST. Team Elevate versus Question Mark. And then the big guns,
the
Optic Gaming versus CLG, Counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah, and then closing it out with Team Caliber versus Envious. Bit of a kind of a house favorite for that one as well. So that's going to be the North American stuff. That's kicking off very soon, 3 o'clock PST. And of course, you have to tune in to do so. You've got all the times and all of the URLs. It doesn't change, boys, just the times. And you better go ahead and start Googling if you can't work that one out. 4 p.m. for the user guys in Europe. That's Central Eastern. Oh, no, it's not even Central Eastern Summer Time. Where is it? It's just, I'm going to say CET before I embarrass myself.
6 p.m. Australian time, 4 p.m. European time.
Nice.
3 p.m.
North American
Some kind of American time.
Yeah, whatever that is. There's loads of that stuff. I don't know if you guys are aware, but myself and Phil are not too great when it comes to time zones. We don't even know what time it is now. We have no idea.
I have no idea. I know we've had a great day of Call of Duty, and I know that technically what I can do is I can stop after 5 games back-to-back casting, and I can watch another 4 games in America.
That's my plan.
And then I can get up tomorrow and I can do it all again.
Do it all over again.
Yes.
But I mean, this has been day 1. Yes, it may have been a bit humbly bumbly. I definitely have got some casting to do. So need to stop saying the word frag. Apparently, that's not what you guys over on this side of the pond say. But I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fight my corner for that one as much as I can.
I like it. Yeah. I do like. I mean, fragging, killing. Top fragging. It's a Call of Duty reference.
I'm not gonna say kill 256 times in a game. I'll tell you that right now. But that has been a great day, a fantastic kind of thing to be a part of, and I'm sure we'll be back even stronger tomorrow with more European Call of Duty. Any final words, Phil?
I mean, what a day. What a way to end it. And I'm just excited to see the league standings at the end of tomorrow. Can Millenium fight back? You know, will the French stay at the top? I don't know. But obviously, go over to, in fact, stay on this stream. It will be the North Americans with, again, absolutely stunning lineups. That's all I've got to say.
All right, he said everything we needed to, guys. We're going to head over for, I was going to say a break. Yeah, essentially, we're going to head for a break. And when we come back, it's going to be North Americans. We're going to look different. We're going to sound different. But it's going to be more Call of Duty. Stay tuned.